Welcome to the Novo. I'm Sayla, the director of the show.
And I'm Alex, assistant director.
This past year has been one full of uncertainty and confusion for all of us. After such a long period of isolation and feeling disconnected, we were ready to turn over a new leaf. And that is exactly what the Novo is about, starting anew.
Literally translating to From the New, the Novo is all about new beginnings and experiences. Planning this event has been such a testament to our students' resilience and ability to come together no matter what obstacles are thrown in their way.
Rather than giving up and canceling our annual fashion show, our department was determined to find a way to showcase our students' designs.
So without further ado, we're so thrilled to introduce you to Saddleback's first ever virtual fashion show.
Recently, my inspiration came from a TV show called Bridgerton. So I really love the era of Renaissance, Baroque, and Rococo. Those historical eras really brings life, and it's really pretty, and I want other people to see it as well through my dresses. So that is the reason why most of my inspiration came from those like 1800s to 700s. Usually when you do sewing, when you do ruffles, there's like multiple ways how to do it, but it takes a lot of patience to do them, especially when you do pinning with them. And sometimes when you work with laces, definitely laces, because like you have to sometimes sew it by hand, and if you're gonna sew it by machine, sometimes it gets caught by the sewing machine. So probably ruffles and laces would be the really hardest one for me. So my favorite designer is Christian Dior. He was born in a bourgeoisie family or a middle-class family, and he created all his dresses just for his wife. He had 1 million dresses just for her, and then he creates those dresses to make girls or ladies become feminine, and he wants to make all the dresses touch in every girl's sexy body to accentuate how beautiful a girl is. So I do my dresses for customization. I try to 10 designs dresses that is like for one person, especially if I see that person as a muse. If I like that person and that has a potential, I'll definitely do a design for her.
I would say my inspiration comes from experiences and people, maybe museums, pretty much anything that I find cool or intriguing, especially if it makes me look twice. I've gotten fabric from the obvious places like the Fashion District, Joann's, M&L in Anaheim, but I also repurpose a lot of fabric and trims, and I think that's where it gets interesting. I've got materials from a car seat covers, suitcases, duffel bags, eyeglass cases, handles from a shopping bag, a vintage hat box, and so on. Well, I think it's evolving and versatile. Experimental for sure. Curious, random, yet cohesive. I would say it's eclectic. It's all over the place. Like each garment has its own personality and story, but together they form one family, one collection.
I have always had a military sense of fashion. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17, so it was always very uniform. I loved uniforms. It is not what my major is today. I enjoy sewing for children, and so you'll see that in my designs. I turned my dining room into my sewing room since we eat in the kitchen anyways. It's been really hard because this is my first semester taking any type of fashion classes, and me having to YouTube everything because there's not someone there to tell me physically how to turn a stitch or put it under has been very challenging, but rewarding in the end. I've become more of a hoarder of fabric, and I source my fabric from everywhere and anywhere, including other hoarders of fabric.
was 14, I started taking sewing lessons with Nancy Gray, who lives in Mission Viejo. I had a friend that told me she took sewing classes, and I was like, that sounds amazing. So I tried them out, and I loved it because the way she structured her classes is I would bring in sketches, and she would teach me about pattern making and about fabric, and really help me understand how to make my designs instead of just generic designs that you get at Joann's. In the past, a lot of my designs have been focused around creating an hourglass shape just because I love that silhouette. And recently, for this collection, I kind of moved away from that because I found out that I was pregnant. So I wanted these designs to be something that I could wear while I was pregnant in the first and second trimester, maybe the third, depending on how big I get. But I liked the pomegranate motif because it had so many seeds, and I felt like it was like the seeds of the prosperity. And I just wanted to kind of have it represent me as an individual, bringing new life into the world, but also maintaining my personal identity. I think if you sew in your house or anywhere, you have to become a collector of fabric. I feel like I started collecting fabric from my sewing teacher. She would have a scrap drawer, and I would go through it every week and find cool things that I liked. And since then, if I'm on vacation, I try to go to some local fabric stores. When I was in Spain, I got some really cool fabric. But when I'm here, I love going to the fashion district, kind of starting at Michael Levine's and going from there.
Yeah, all those clothes I made, I'm really proud of that because it's kind of like open another door for me to this world. So I made those, some from just from the homeworks. Teacher require us to do it, but every steps I made them, I feel like, wow, it's cool. And I created something that's so exciting and so fun. this is really hard to sew with the cotton. It's easy, you know, you need to adjust the colors, the patterns. So when you do that, it takes a little bit longer time. But when it comes out, it looks so good. So I really enjoy that. My favorite, I think is Alexander Wang. Yeah, that cool, all the designs. My grandmother taught me how to design, so I really interested in. But those couple years when I came to Saddleback College, the fashion merchandising, so I learned a lot, I design a lot.
So I got into sewing because both my grandmother, who lived with us growing up, and my mother are seamstresses. I don't think I really sewed with a machine until I started taking class at Saddleback, but growing up, I was a great seam ripper. I knew how to hem pants by hand. I knew how to embellish already, but I was scared to get near the machine until I was a little bit older. My inspiration comes from, a lot of it actually comes back to my childhood and what I really loved back then. I wear a lot of boring clothes in my 9-to-5 job, but what I design always takes me back to cartoons, color, print, exaggerated styles. So in the past, my fashion sense, I was very much into Bart Simpson, crazy prints, just embellishments, and I would say it does relate. It relates to the clothes that I make, but I would say that it doesn't relate to the clothes that I wear day to day. I guess that's a persona that I have. So my collection, I guess, is a reflection of a lot of my travels. And so being a seamstress or a sewer or a designer, you go to different places, and every city that I've been to, every country that I've been to, we kind of collect fabric. And so my collection shows fabric from London and Copenhagen and 2 places in Canada, Ottawa and Toronto.
When I first started learning how to sew, I didn't care about fashion at all. I was a jeans and t-shirt girl, and I wanted to learn how to sew so I could make cosplays. And over time, I realized that fashion is actually really cool, and I think I want to learn more about it. So I started shifting my dress to look more professional and more polished, you know, more businessy. And a lot of times people thought I worked at the school because I looked so professional. And since quarantine, my fashion style has changed completely. I'm wearing Lolita now. I'm wearing, it's a Japanese fashion style. And then there's another style called Werq that I wear a lot. It's all changed because I realized that I can be fashionable and still be me and still have fun and bring color and light to the world. When I see a piece of fabric, I see a blank canvas that's waiting to be used, and I can see how to use it. It's very different to me than any other art form I've done. I'm trained in writing, painting, ceramics. any kind of art form, I can do something in it, but fashion is very interesting for me. It's a mixture of construction and art. My favorite designer of all time is Charles James, and he was amazing. He constructed these garments that were insanely glamorous and gorgeous, and they were architecture as much as they were fashion, and just he invented stuff like the down jacket. Like, who goes and invents a down jacket? That's a staple now, but he invented it. And I think that, you know, if I had a goal, it would be to be half as creative as him.
I would describe my design aesthetics as a daughter goes through dad's box of old clothes, or a sister goes through their brother's clothes. I like to convert menswear to women's clothes. What I like about men's clothing are its functionality and its lasting comfortness. I feel like in women's wear, it's difficult to find functionality. You barely find pockets in women's clothing. So I like to incorporate men's functionality to women's femininity and its playful youthness. My inspiration comes from our surroundings. I would say definitely comes from like music I listen to, films I watch, or even like my vacations I went previously before COVID, or even something that I see on the rack and I realize, oh, this will look good if I make it into this, then. My favorite designer would be Vivienne Westwood. I love her punk rock aesthetics mixed in with feminine, British, heritage, cultural looks. Definitely love like streetwear designers like Yoon An from Ambush and also like Golf Wing. I started my brand in 2019. It's called Oh Hi Diana. It's where I sell my reworked items and hopefully start blogging all my lookbooks.
My collection is kind of random, it's all about upcycling. So all of my pieces are upcycled, but the blue dress is not, and everything else is upcycled. Like the jacket, kind of like the patch jacket, that one took 6 pens to make. So that was like a really nice challenge. But yeah, everything is upcycling. But I like to draw a lot. I like to make art. So I'm always making art. It's always creative stuff with me. We're designers, we're not tailors. So when people ask you to tailor the clothes, as a designer, I think it's just I don't want to do it because I'm more on the creative side. So I want to create instead of destroy someone's work and redo it, I listen to a lot of fashion shows. The fashion shows give me strength and make me even do more work. So yeah, the fashion shows.
Thank you so much for watching.
We're so proud of all of our design students for the hard work that went into these amazing pieces. We hope you enjoyed them just as much as we did.
Before we go, we'd like to give a big shout out to Saddleback's Associated Student Government for sponsoring our event.
We'd also like to thank the film crew, instructor Diane McGarty, and the special events class for all of the effort that was put into making this show happen. We couldn't have done it without all of you.
And that's a wrap. Stay safe, stay healthy, and can't wait to see you guys back on campus next year.